but it's prohibitively expensive. And no matter how much we do, we cannot rely solely on it. So a big problem that we face is that virtually all the rockets that have been fired in Israel, at Israel, and many of the rockets that are being placed around it, are short-term rockets, and they're not long-term Shihab rockets. There are those too. But there are thousands, tens of thousands of short-range rockets and other projectiles that are fired from contiguous territory. Now, here's the problem of defending Israel against missiles. Even if we put an Iron Dome, we'll have rockets fired at us. And where is the problem of preventing them from being fired? The problem is to prevent them from being placed on our borders. Where's the problem that Israel has vis-a-vis Lebanon? It is not in the Lebanon-Israel border. It is in the Lebanon-Syrian border. Where's the problem that we face vis-a-vis Israel and vis-a-vis Gaza? It is not in the Gaza-Israel seam line. It's not on that border. It's in the 12-kilometer strip between Gaza and Egypt. That is the ability to proliferate into contiguous areas. Thousands of missiles, rockets, and other projectiles is something that creates a monumental problem, a security problem for Israel. That's the missile. And therefore, in addition to defensive means, we also must ensure that in that entry to the contiguous areas next to Israel, there is a way to effectively stop the infiltration of rockets and other weapons. And I believe that this requires, in the case of a future settlement for the Palestinians, this will require an Israeli presence on the eastern side of the prospective Palestinian state. I'm not saying how it will be done. I'm not saying in what format. But I'm saying based on recent experience, we've seen that in Lebanon we had an international guarantee, United States Resolution 1701, an insurance policy signed by the entire international community. And you know that that unfortunately has failed. In fact, it's failed miserably because Hezbollah is just pouring in weapons, more and more weapons to fire into Israel. And you know that we have also an understanding with other countries when we left Gaza about the Philadelphia corridor, and I appreciate the efforts made by President Mubarak and the Egyptian government to stop it. But you can see that there is massive infiltration continuing all the time. We can't afford to have that replicated the third time in the center part of the country that dominates our cities, dominates our population, dominates our airfield. We have to have not only missile defense program, we have to have something to interdict the inflow of rockets and missiles and other weaponry into the prospective Palestinians. This is the second issue that concerns us. The third is related to the second, and I call that the Goldstone effect. This is a process that began some time ago, and it's meant to vitiate, to deprive Israel of the ability to defend against the aggression that is launched against us. It is a peculiar notion that the Hamas that committed a double war crime of firing on civilians while hiding behind civilians, their civilians, is basically exonerated, and the international community, or parts of it, is directing the fire against Israel, which did what any country would do, and that is try to pinpoint the rocketeers and to try to stop them from firing on us. I think the battle against terror has been sorely hurt by the Goldstone report, and it's also meant to, of course, tie our hands so that we cannot take actions to defend ourselves. If we cannot take action to defend ourselves, we will not increase, we will not take any additional risk for peace. So this is both an effect that heightens terror and also drives peace forward. We have to deal with that. We're going to publish in the very near future a report by the military prosecutor of everything that we have done, unlike our neighbors, to explore any offenses, any any deviations from the code. We have a real code of conduct. And I think you'd be deeply interested in reading this report, which encompasses over 100 cases. Not merely a few dozen mentioned in the Goldstone. And there, you will see the truth about it. But also close to 70 others that we've explored independently by our own people. I think it's very important to restore balance and truth to this issue. And I hope that we can put this issue behind us because it's important both for our defense and for peace, and both for other, and as well for other countries who are faced with a similar terrorism. These are the three most important challenges we face. The nuclear threat, the missile threat, and if you will, the Goldstone challenge. But we have another challenge, and that's the challenge of peace. We want to move forward, and in order to move forward, we need immediately to negotiate peace. We said that on day one in the formation of the government. We have not been met by the similar position from the Palestinians. What we've done in the 9 months that we've been in office was, one, to call immediately for peace talks. Second, to remove hundreds of roadblocks, checkpoints, and other obstacles to movement. And as a result, the Palestinian economy has soared to about 8% growth. We think we can do it together. We can actually get it to reach an even higher level. Third, I gave a speech at Bar Ilan that formed a national consensus about the idea of peace, of the Palestinian, demilitarized Palestinian state that recognizes the Jewish state. And fourth, we took an unprecedented step in the cabinet to restrain the construction and the settlements for 10 months